Welcome to Oilers Nation Everyday with your hosts, Tyler and Liam.
Guys, I hate to break it to you. This is not our 1000th episode. Let's get into it with the lead. Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday with Liam and Aaron.
Hey, what up, everybody? And yeah, I hate to break the news to you guys. It's definitely not our 1000th episode.
Not even close.
Not even close, I don't think.
Close.
We did the math. We were trying to think of how many weekdays there are in a year. Mm-hmm. This is technically season 4, I do believe, of Oilers Nation Everyday. I think we're in the 600, 700 range.
I think so, too. So to give you a little insight of what has happened here. So YouTube used to be something we tried to be good at, but weren't very good at. I think it's fair to say.
Yep.
We didn't really know a lot about it.
Yep.
You know, I pat myself on the back. I've done a lot of research.
I was about to say, I think Liam single-handedly has figured out YouTube for us.
I've done okay.
I'm willing to say single-handedly.
So what we didn't used to have is playlists for everything. Yeah. So right now we have playlists for the actual live show, which is the show that Ryan S. was referring to in QS Pro. We said this was the 999th episode was yesterday or today, whatever it was. What actually happened was a bunch of like short videos that we had actually were part of that playlist. So a bit of a mix-up.
That's on us for being unorganized. That's on us.
I'll go through and fix it.
But I love that you're looking and you're keeping track and you want to celebrate because guess what? 1,000 will be here before you know it. Us and Rico both around for a long time.
That is true. I don't think it'll be till next year.
Yeah.
I don't think we're there till next season.
It might be, this is season 4. I feel like it might be the beginning of like season 6. Once again, somebody wants to go nuts. You can go do that. You can go figure that out and do the math.
And the other reason why we know it's not the 1000th episode is because when Aaron posts the podcast, he also posts our interviews. If you listen to us on podcast, we post our interviews separately. And we're at like 820 or something like that.
It's in the 800s.
With interviews. So, tough one for you guys that wanted to celebrate today.
We will get to 1,000.
Oh,
and you will be here, and we will celebrate.
Yeah, I don't think they can take us off the air because there's
it's free?
Quite frankly, every other media personality has a job in Edmonton. We all go live at the same time. We all talk about the same stuff. But you should listen to us on a daily basis, Monday to Friday. 2 great guests today.
Yep.
Devon Dubnyk, Rob Schremp coming up on the program.
2 former Oilers.
2 former teammates of Springfield Falcons. Remember when we had Duby on and we were down at the dealership? Duby and Rob are both on at the same time. Obviously, Duby was a co-host with us that day too, so that was fantastic. So, again, welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday. The show is a presentation of Bet365. You can download the app today because it is never ordinary.
Never ordinary. Whatever the moment.
Whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. Oilers won last night. But before we talk about that, I also have to tell you about Sports Closet because we are in the Sports Closet studio there. Kingsway Mall location is now reopened after some renovations. Obviously, a big win the other day for the Toronto Blue Jays going to the World Series. Starts on Friday in Toronto. Go gear up before that. Go down to Sports Closet. It's 3 locations. Kingsway Mall, again, it's now open. St. Albert Center.
Do you have an updated Blue Jays jersey? Like, do you have a current player jersey?
No, I
have Troy Tulowitzki.
Well,
it was a big Tulo guy.
I think mine would be from that era. But
shockingly enough, doesn't fit me anymore.
No, I don't button mine up.
Oh, God, no.
No.
I'd break the buttons if I button that thing up.
Yeah, that was a T-shirt and a jacket kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll wear it.
I'm going to have to rock mine.
We're going, obviously, to Vancouver this weekend on a nation vacation, so that's very exciting. If you're in the Vancouver area this weekend, we'll be at Greta on Sunday for pre- and post-game. So if you want to come hang out with us beforehand, we'll be there for, obviously, the pre-game show.
Pre-game, then we'll go walk down together, take on the city of Vancouver in the streets by ourselves.
And we'll need to be in packs.
You do. You got to travel in packs.
Violent people.
Liam was telling, I've never been to a game in Vancouver. I'd never been to Vancouver till this summer.
Beautiful city.
It was pretty beautiful. I can't lie.
Bad fan base.
Yeah, so I'm very curious to see what that's going to be like, and especially, Sunday night, you get a little rivalry action.
It's a huge rivalry.
The Freaks come out at night on Sunday nights.
It's a huge rivalry for the Canucks to slay the dragon.
Yeah, absolutely. You were telling me about Elias Pettersson and some numbers of his that are shocking to me.
Yeah, Elias Pettersson only averaging I think it's just over 11 minutes a game. At
5v5.
At 5-5. The defenseman Elias Pettersson is averaging more than the forward Elias Pettersson, former 100 goal man.
I also see somebody asked in the chat, maybe Saturday Jay's watch party. Keep it locked on the socials. Maybe DM one or two of us and we could let you know where we'll be on Saturday, because I got Blue Jay fever. You got Blue Jay fever. We all need to band together.
The game will start much earlier there.
Yeah, right.
Like, we're talking like a what? It starts usually around 6.
Yeah, all the games I believe are at 6 for the World Series Mountain Standard.
So that'd be a 5 p.m. first pitch-ish. Anyway, like I said, we had Devon Dubynyk coming on in 12 minutes, so we better get through this program a little bit faster than what we've been going through. The game recap is brought to you by Greta. Like we said, we'll be in Vancouver on this weekend, and you can probably see us at the Vancouver location, definitely on Sunday, pre- and post-game like we mentioned. But if you're not going to Vancouver this weekend with us, well, that's unfortunate for you, but you can still go down to Greta Arcade, Bar, and Street Food. They've got it all down at Greta downtown in Edmonton. Go play the football game. Send Tyler and I your high scores. You'll probably beat me because I'm terrible. Tyler is undefeated.
And once again, Tyler also freaky good at the basketball game.
Yeah, but ask him to do the hanging bar one.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He won't be doing that one very long.
I don't like that one. That makes me look weak, and I don't like showing how frail I am to everybody else.
Brian, interesting comment. I won't say anything more, but if you're in the area, maybe take a look at that place Brian said. I'm not allowed to say it, but you could read Brian's comment. Edmonton Oilers win 3-2 in overtime against the Ottawa Senators, snapping a 3-game losing streak. They had a good stranglehold on this one, I would say, going into the third period. Ottawa, obviously the home team, pushed back quite heavily, came back in the start of the third. 2 very quick goals within the first 2 minutes. I'm not really sure what anyone wanted Stuart Skinner to do on them. I think we would all agree that was just kind of poor defensive and poor decision-making by the Oilers. But Jake Walman, in his return to the lineup, gets the overtime winner. Reese, if you want to throw up that overtime winner, we'll take a quick glance at that one. But Aaron, whilst Reese looks at it, what were your overall thoughts?
So, Jake the Snake, he's the hero that we don't deserve. This is so clutch of him to do this. Shout out Matt Savoie. Huge face-off win. I think that was Roslovic that got thrown out, I do believe. Right back to Walman. And that is a shot that we saw in the NHL playoffs a lot. That's something that not many players in the NHL have, and arguably the celebration better than the goal itself. He didn't gritty, but that was just as good as a gritty. Doing a little whatever that was. I enjoyed every bit of it. Walman was awesome, dude. And I talked about a lot on pre-gaming that the things the Oilers have struggled at, simple breakout tape-to-tape passes, is exactly what Jake Walman excels at. And then on top of it, he was eating pucks left, right, and center. He had 4 blocks. Darnell Nurse had 6. As a pairing, they had 10 last night. But look at that shot. Somebody pointed out that he's just going right for the head, and Omar, he's scared. You don't want to get in the way of a shot like that. No. It was beautiful. It was a sight for sore eyes. There's several positives in this game. Stuart Skinner, thought was solid yet again. The young boys, the young bucks. Ike Howard, can watch that shot forever. But I was frustrated last night. You had a 2-0 lead going into the third period against the Ottawa Senators, a team that is without their leader, a team that has been reeling lately. That's a spot where I want to see the Oilers put foot to neck. But they did the complete opposite. Some defensive breakdowns, really leaving Stu out to dry. But hey, you don't apologize for a win. A win is a win. You get the 2 points. Thank God they get to come back home and sleep on their own beds for one game, and then they're back on the road again. So this is just kind of an extended road trip.
They're on the road a lot. And I was thinking about that, and we're going to ask Devon Dubynyk about it too, of just road trips early in the season. If you looked at the schedule as well, the Oilers go out east. Every single game they have out east is before it's either Christmas or the New Year turns, whatever it is. They don't, in 2026, they do not play out east until they potentially go to the Stanley Cup final.
Wow, so I'm looking through it right now. You're totally right.
They play every single East team in the first half of the season, which is probably a good thing, I would think. But just on this game,
I don't think they play a single Eastern Cup.
No, they don't. They don't. At least maybe they play like Montreal or something like that. But I don't think they. No Eastern Conference teams in the second half of the season, which is just bonkers. Wow. Reese, I know, yeah, good for them. If you go to let's go back to the highlight again of Walman, because there's something that's interesting in this too, and you mentioned it, Aaron, but huge win in the face-off of Matthew Savoie. Not only to get the goal, obviously. But 5 seconds left on the power play. If they get that puck, there is just about enough time for them to rim it around. Guy comes out of the box, and maybe you get a breakaway. Like, that is an incredible play from a guy who, again, has played 12 games. He got an assist last night. First one of the season was this. And, like, great opportunities for him as well. And look where he's going for it, too. Like, I know this isn't the play I'm referencing, but, like, when he goes to the net, when it's, I think it was him, Nuge, and maybe it was Philp, to be honest. Him and Philp and Nuge are very similar. And Savoie, but, like, crushing the net, and it's just like, I love him so much. And obviously, if we can get the Ike Howard goal up as well, Reese. Ike Howard, his first NHL goal, a great finish. And you know what, too, if you all watched the Detroit game over the weekend, you know he had a great opportunity from that same spot as well, and he fluffed on it. But this time he left no doubt right through Allmark. He was unsure at first, but the best part about a player scoring his first goal is like, look how excited he is. Like, he's literally red in the face. I don't think anything could have wiped that. The Oilers could have gone on to lose this game. I think he would have been smiling.
I told you I haven't seen Leon-Draisaitl smile all season, and he was cheesing ear to ear at this point. Even after in a TV timeout, you saw Stuart Skinner come over, and he gave him the big hug. He had a smile on his face. Hard to be upset when there's a puppy around. But with the Iceman here, he's not going to get much time with Connor and Leon on the ice. So the only way he might get it is coming out of the penalty box for 10 to 15 seconds. What a play by Connor McDavid. I don't think he got registered with an assist for that.
He did not.
That's a winning play. Yeah. That's a scoring play there. And then the Iceman, locked, loaded, no hesitation whatsoever. He was never going to do anything besides rip that puck, which I've been arguing is the simplicity the Edmonton Oilers need in their hockey game. That's a shot you can get used to watching. He was only credited, I believe, with one shot on goal in the game. He had some other opportunities where he missed the net, but he was in prime opportunities. And good, solid celebration here for Ike Howard. The kids are all right. I believe that's what Brett made a clip from After Dark yesterday. The kids made an impact yesterday.
They really did. And if you're wondering at all why Connor McDavid wasn't in the celebration, it's because he got the puck.
Yep.
And he went and got the puck. And I mean, there's probably, I'm shocked if there's more than two, to be honest, including Ike Howard, who got their first NHL goal with Leon-Draisaitl. And I know McDavid didn't get it, but he pretty much did get it as their assists on the game. So credit to Ike Howard. The other,
those electronic like photo pictures that like play videos?
Yeah.
I just have that going in my house constantly. My first goal with Connor and Leon.
Ike Howard last night played 10 minutes, 42 seconds at 5-on-5. Scoring chances 4. He was on the ice for 4 of them, and also 4 against the only player to play less than Ike Howard last night. David Tomasek, Trent Frederick, also a few people have mentioned it. Not his best night. Fair to say Frederick has, last couple of games at least, has really fallen off. And I think as fans, we got a big ticket. I liked the ticket at the time. I still think it'll be fine. He needs to be a little bit better. Not a little bit, a lot better here, right?
I think he needs to be more aggressive, more physical. Bring what you have, which is size, should be competitiveness. And once again, I keep talking about it, but the simple style hockey game. And I think that's what Trent Frederick could do. I like that line when you look at it of Noah Philp, Freddie,
I did too. I thought
Matt
it was going to
Savoie.
be effective.
I feel like it. I don't know. It just really so far, and we're in it for the long haul, baby, here with Trent Frederick. But I will say, in his first however many games last season in the playoffs here, it definitely leaves some to the imagination. You definitely want more. I fully think he's capable of doing it. I still believe in the guy. But he needs to find his role and his identity on this team. Is he a physical guy? The Oilers, not the most physical team in the NHL. He's one of the bigger gentlemen on the squad. I'd like him to be leading in hits every single night, but because that's the thing, right? If your offensive game doesn't travel, what does travel? Effort, lay in the body, playing that simple style. Be patient. Be patient with Trent Frederick. A, because I like the guy. B, we have no other choice. So you're in this for the long haul.
Yeah, Trent Frederick -3 in his last game, in the last 2 games, sorry. Before that, he was +2 on the season, so obviously now.
Ooh, somebody said Freddie was wearing the jeans last night.
Freddie, that's a great call. Freddie was probably wearing the jeans yesterday. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
He's wearing coveralls.
Yeah. Not much you can do about it. Adam Henrique, 1,000th game. And I just want to throw this out there again as Knoblauch just being very self-aware of what is happening. Again, we talked about it yesterday. Ike Howard in Detroit, where he played Michigan State. Who was it the game before? Curtis Lazar against the Devils. Adam Henrique, I mean, it was pretty obvious he was playing his 1,000th game. The Oilers did a great job of advertising that, but to get him out there for the opening face-off as well.
With Connor and Leon,
With
right?
Connor and Leon, just really, really good to see from Knobloch just being, again, it's the small details, but I think that actually gives it helps the players respect the coach a little bit more.
That matters to a guy like Adam Henrique, Rico, and that's the respect you want. That's what you want to show future free agents, even if you want to get that far, or just simply the guys in the room. Nuge is looking around going, all right, I think I'll get treated pretty well here when I get to game 1,000.
Knock on wood.
Hope we get there.
Reese, can you please play the Ottawa Senators goals quickly? Let's go. The first one to start the third period, Dylan Cousins, basically just allowed to walk right in. I mean, I think there's a few players you can probably put the blame on here. You can't allow, obviously, anyone to walk in and do that, let alone someone on the power play to come in. Stuart Skinner had a great game up until that point. He was doing really, really well. And obviously, you can see there on the score clock, 13 seconds into the game. Bad defensive breakdown. I don't know where you want to put the blame. You could put it on maybe Bouchard needed to come over a little bit more. He's protecting a pass that probably isn't there as much.
When he starts coming down Main Street, you have to make a step into the middle. However, Matthias Ekholm.
I was going to say, Ekholm as well. It just feels like bad body positioning. You don't have a lot left on the penalty if we let us run again, Reese. What was it? How long was left? Maybe about 30 seconds, whatever it may be. And I just think that, you got to read the minute 30, sorry, a lot longer than 30 seconds. Either way, start of the period to get a power play is kind of crazy there. And I just think Ekholm, bit of no man's land. Same with Bouchard. You want to have a better start to the period.
You can't let a guy like Dylan Cousins walk in that way. I heard some people online Stu, that's a save. You're facing it head on. You need to make that. What are you talking about? And I said this last night. Stuart Skinner, we'll get to the quality start meter. I want to talk to Duby about that as well. Yep. I want him to give us Gladiator. But for Stuart Skinner, he made saves earlier in the game that he had no business making. He robbed David Perron at one point. He robbed Dylan Cousins at another point. Hey, kept saying it. You pay these other guys millions of dollars too, and Dylan Cousins, you let him go walk in unattended. He's probably he should score that goal is the point we were 100%. Talking about. And then you move on to the next goal. You talk about leaving Stuart Skinner out to dry. I'm the resident Brett Kulak guy here at Oilers Nation, and this is unacceptable, maybe is the words I'll use here. It's him and Ty Emberson refusing to get physical, refusing to clear out the bodies in front of the net. Nick Cousins is planted in the blue paint, and I'm not bitching about he's in the crease, whatever. It's the fact he's in the blue paint. I need someone to put a stick on him. Ridley Gregg's there as well. I felt at one point on a different angle I saw, it honestly looked like Cousins or Gregg engaged in contact, and then Kulak and Emberson backed off. They were like, okay, no, you're right. That is your area. That's your space. Stuart Skinner, you feel for the guy here. He had been having an awesome game, and then bang, 2 breakdowns in front of you in 2 minutes, and now the game is tied back up. I was pretty frustrated at this point.
Yeah,
Reese, just let me know when Dubynyk is here ready to join us. The other part that's bad about this too, and I'd like to ask Dubynyk about this when we get to him right away, but this is now back-to-back games of the defenseman refusing to move the guy in front. The Ekholm one the other day, and we debated, is that Skinner's fault? Is that Ekholm's fault? I think you could just be avoidable if you just get out of the way and take the forward with you. This is just, for me, just can't keep happening for the Oilers. They've lost that physical instinct the last few games, and Louis said it yesterday. He's like, just skate. And you said it with Frederick. It's like, it doesn't take, if your game isn't going the way it is,
it takes effort.
You can hit people, and it's just barely touching him.
Also, Nick Cousins voted most punchable face in the NHL. That's your free shot right there to take your opportunity.
Okay, let's get out to the Star Mechanical guest line and talk to our friend Devon Dubynyk about all of this. Devon Dubynyk's appearances are brought to you by Star Mechanical. Star Mechanical is one of Edmonton's biggest locally owned and operated plumbing and heating businesses. They have been working within the community for over 20 years. And many of the homes built in Edmonton over the last 2 decades have had their plumbing and heating systems installed by Star Mechanical. Visit them at starmechanical.ca to schedule an appointment and let them keep your home running smoothly. It's the only ad read I can do clean,
ad
Devon.
read you've ever done, Liam.
I know.
Clap it up,
Thank
brother.
you very much. Devon Dubynyk, the host of Ask Doobie and a former Edmonton Oilers goaltender. Doobie, how you doing today?
I'm good. I was itching to get in the breakdowns there.
Yeah, what did you make of those 2 goals against last night? I mean, again, just something to throw there. Stuart Skinner, another great game from him as well yesterday.
Yeah, he was awesome, and nothing to do there on the 2 goals. Listen, we gotta stop with he should have stopped that one. It's 1-on-1, face to face. These guys are NHL shooters, and a lot of times, like people don't understand that they shoot so well that a lot, like if guys got in clear cut, untouched, like it's not advantage shooter, but guys will score more often than you think. A lot of what we do is based off of pressure on the shooter. Body position, just some sort of defensive pressure doesn't allow them to kind of take whatever shot they want. And when they can, it obviously ups their percentages a lot. Now, to me, this is at home mostly. Watching this, like Bouchard's where he is. There's nothing, he plays it passively, but there's nothing he could really do, and it's a right-handed shot. But Ekholm, I don't think can get stuck on the wall here. Like, that's your job. And then Mangiapane as well. Again, things happen fast, but he loses a step. He gets a little bit high, and Ekholm gets too far outside. Now, Ekholm's going to dig for the puck here, so I would think that's Mangiapane.
Yeah.
That's really his guy, or Nuge's guy, I guess. But that's kind of where the problem starts. Is the problem on the wall there of giving up that middle of the ice, and it's kind of like 3 guys get lost. I mean, there's no point in looking at Bouchard. He plays it passively. He plays the pass. You could argue that the pass wasn't there, but he's got to stay in a position if there is a rebound or something there. There's no point in him going over to a right-handed shot that he's not going to get to there. He's got to hang where he is. And listen, you got a goal scorer makes a good shot in the net. That's if no goals ever went in hockey, nobody would want to watch hockey. So that was a breakdown on the wall.
Millions of dollars as well. They get paid too.
So it was a breakdown on the wall, and again, those things happen too. It's a mistake, but definitely, I think being on the PK as well, you got to protect the middle of the ice, and can't get everybody over there to where just a loose puck becomes that play. As far as the boxing out, it's interesting with the physical play. So, it's kind of one or the other. Like you kind of have to get to them before. Once they get there, like the way the league is, you can't really it's not jail rules anymore. Like you can't just bury guys in front of the net. So you got to get to them early, or make sure you're tying up sticks. But I believe this goes off Kulak.
Yeah.
And so he makes the decision here to front, which is fine. But if you're going to front here, then you have to block the shot, and which is not necessarily easy to do. This is the previous goal, but it's not necessarily easy to do. But if that's the decision you make, it's really important that he blocks this, because he's basically directly in Skinner's eyes. And so they can't really do anything at this point. But right now, so he fronts, and at that point, you're basically playing goalie. So, if you're in his eyes, you gotta block it if that's the decision that you're gonna make. But they can't really do too much with the guys in front here, and the guys in front didn't deflect it in anyway. But it was just, I think it's that decisiveness that you want to see. Is like, what are we gonna do here? Are we gonna engage with the guys in front? Are we gonna get to them early? That's the problem there. You got 2 guys behind to begin with. But when Kulak starts to front here, if you're going to front and be the goalie, then you got to understand if that gets past you, it's going to be pretty dangerous.
Louis DeBrusk mentioned this on the broadcast too, and again, like, there's not really much anything Skinner could have done. You just hope this kind of hits him, and I'm sure that's what he was thinking too. But do you think he maybe should have challenged a bit higher in his crease to maybe try and get that goalie interference called? Because on the replay from above, it did look like Cousins was in the blue paint. And I mean, we've seen it so many times now, especially being Oilers fans watching their games. Like, it seems like anytime a bit of contact is in the blue, it goes in the favor of the goaltender. Would you have liked to have seen that a bit more from Skinner?
I'd like to see him out more, not for that purpose. When we're playing the game, we don't think of like, I'm going to try to make contact with this guy. But, that could definitely be an outcome from it. I'd like to see him out a little further. Just on these plays, I don't think it would have mattered. I don't think that it doesn't matter, even if he was a foot further out. I think the way this puck deflects in the net, it doesn't matter. But I just like on multiple screens like that, you got 4 bodies in front. to get closer to those guys. Just if there is any deflections, they're obviously covering as much net as you can. But Stu plays a little deeper, and that's the way he plays too. So me personally, I like to get as close to that group as I could, and I would look up over top. I just like the closer you are, the less obviously anything deflected just isn't going to move nearly as much when those guys are right in front of you. But in this scenario, and that's kind of how Stu plays. He plays a little bit deeper, and that's fine. In this scenario, I don't think it changes anything.
Mm-hmm. Skinner, I mean, just overall to start the season, has been superb. I mean, there's only really been, it wasn't even the game. He made a terrible mistake in the Calgary game. It unfortunately cost him 2 points, essentially. But he recovered well in that game. Really good start since. Like, what have you seen in his game that has given him so much success to start the season?
Yeah, it's nice to see. It was tough to watch at the start, right? Yeah. So many questions going in, the spotlight's on him, the magnifying glass, and a really pretty inexcusable mistake there in the first game. But that stuff happens. It doesn't make him a bad goalie. So I'm happy to see that he didn't kind of let that derail him. That he's playing well, and even with that, the few losses in a row were not on him. Definitely some major defensive blunders and a little bit of struggle scoring, but the way things have gone in the past with people quick to jump on the goalie, it's nice to see that hasn't affected him, that he's consistently put together games regardless of it being able to jump on guys. It was nice to see Coach come in there and kind of go to bat for them before last game and just say this isn't a goalie issue. We're actually pretty happy with the way they've played. So that's really for Skinner, is that we saw it a lot in playoffs last year, right? The one goalie and the other goalie. And for me, it's just the calmness, slow as smooth as fast. That's Stu Skinner right there, because when he gets jumpy and starts getting quick and boxy and things become frantic, he's not a super athletic goalie. Of course, he's athletic because everybody is, but that's not his game. And so when he becomes frantic, that's usually when things get a little ugly for him. And so I've liked that. I think he's been quick, but he's been in control. And I think mainly for me, just the mental side, that he's been able to be consistent and play well in a situation to start the year that could have gone up and down with storylines and whatnot with the gaffe in the first game and then a few losses in a row. It's nice to see him be consistent and then get a big win.
Mm-hmm. Well, Doobie, as you know, we then have to give all the credit to the new goalie coach in town, because that's the only reason why Stuart Skinner ever struggled in the old place. And, dude, he's been awesome. I tell you, doing pre- and post-game has been way more fun to start this year, because we're talking gushingly about one Stuart Skinner game in, game out. But I want to ask you, the Edmonton Oilers are on a very early season road trip. They go on the Eastern Road Swing. The first two games they played at home against Calgary and Vancouver, they were awesome. They dummied the Vancouver Canucks. All of a sudden, you go on this Eastern Road Swing, and they forgot how to complete simple passes. They do kind of salvage it yesterday with a W, one that probably should have never even gone into overtime. But I want to ask you about early season road trips. Did you like them as a team when you were playing? Like, I guess it gives you that team bonding experience, when you're out on the road nice and early, or would you rather be at home? Because the Oilers play a lot of games on the road, a lot of games out east early this season, none in the back half. What was your experience in early season roadies?
Yeah, I didn't love them being long at the start. It's nice to get one for whatever reason. Thinking back, I feel like we started on the road a lot for the teams I was playing for, but that's obviously just coincidence. But the long ones can be tough early on, but they do have their benefits. Like you said, it's great to get out there, have some dinners with the guys, get everybody bonding. But things can snowball a little bit, I guess, which we saw in this road trip when you're still trying to find your game a little bit and get the rust off to start the year, and you're playing against teams that you don't play very often out east, and also when it's long like that, you could go for a 2 or 3 gamer and have a quick struggle, and then you're back home and you can kind of get things back on track. These long ones get dangerous when they are long with a lot of games in them. And if you start to struggle a little bit, the travel and the being in the hotel and just not really having a reset, it can kind of get off the rails a little bit. And that's why I think this win last night was so important for them to just get it back on track, and not let it continue kind of the way that it was going. And they got a little bit of everything that they needed last night. Connor McDavid goal, great Stuart Skinner performance. Ike Howard gets his first goal, and Walman comes back in the lineup and has a huge overtime winner. It wasn't just a win. It was kind of a nice little, each thing was a nice little piece.
So there's been something happening here with Knobloch. It's been 3 games in a row. He's done this where, so Curtis Lazar played for the Devils last season. He comes into the lineup, plays against his old team, scores a goal actually too. Ike Howard comes back into the lineup, plays Detroit, and he went to Michigan State at college. And then last game, obviously Adam Henrique plays his 1,000th game, gets the opening face-off with Leon and McDavid. Those things, like, it's obviously something that, like, Knobloch is noticing. I'm curious, as a player, how do players take that? It's obviously got to be a big respect thing towards the coaching staff, right?
It is, yeah. It shows that they care about you, and it doesn't. Some coaches do it, some won't. But it's a little thing that it just shows that the coach cares and he's paying attention, and they're little things, but they're acknowledgments to important situations that some of these things only happen once. 1,000 games obviously is a huge one, but former team or going back to Detroit, like these are. They're unique situations that only happen once in a career, and it's just great acknowledgement by Knobloch to just say, hey, I see it, I see you, I know this is important, so I'm going to give you a little bump here.
I'm curious. I want to kind of ask, what have you thought? We're 7 games into the NHL season right now. It's been a bit of a mixed bag here for the Edmonton Oilers. Like I mentioned, started out great. Kind of the wheels fell off a little bit on the roadie, but it's weird. The Oilers are used to having awful starts, and I'll put that nicely. This one, it's been a little touch and go. I'm pretty positive about it. And like Connor gets his first goal yesterday, Bouchard gets his first point. You could argue up till yesterday, the top dogs, the top 6 really, besides Nuge, hadn't produced much for the Oilers. But there's a lot to be happy about. Notably, Stuart Skinner is back more than he's ever been before. He looks awesome. You've seen scoring from the bottom 6. You've seen some young guys. Matt Savoie, Noah Philp, Ike Howard yesterday, able to get on the board. So there's been bright spots. They've struggled to complete breakout passes, I'll say, and ask you about your thoughts on Darnell so far this year, Dubes, but I'm pretty sure I would know your answer. Overall, what have you thought 7 games in for the Oil?
Yeah, you know what? It hasn't been clean, but they're fine, and that's kind of what we know. We know what they're capable of. We know what their expectations are. So as long as you're fine and you're not in some huge hole that you're trying to dig out of, which is not the case for them, they are where they are right now without the scoring from their top guys that they've expected, without with some defensive blunders that they'd like to be cleaned up, and they're in a fine spot. So. If they have the opportunity to start to build up now, without the urgency of needing to climb out of a big hole, and I think that they can kind of go through that and figure out what they needed to learn from this road trip, and how they need to generate offense. And I think Walman's going to be a big addition back, just speed and puck moving on the blue line, offensive creativity there as well, and then getting Bush to back to playoff Bush, and we're not going to see playoff Bush for 82 games, but maybe half a heart rate of playoff Bush, and we'll see what that looks like. But again, they're only going up from here, and we know those guys are going to score. It's going to come around. They're going to start scoring in bunches, and then the wins are going to go through the roof. So I think they're in a good spot, and better than some of the starts they've had in the past.
It's much better. It's been worse before, bro.
That's been worse. We've lived it. We've lived through it. Last question for me, Doobie, and this is I put you on the spot a little bit. Sorry, but there's been a lot of contracts in the NHL recently. Kaprizov obviously signs a $17 million, and you get McDavid and even Eichel taking a lot less money. As a former player, like, what do you make of that? Like, if you were playing, and I know you were a goalie, and it's probably a lot different, but like, Does that actually matter to other players, what other players sign, or is it just kind of something that's somewhat irrelevant a little bit?
It matters to the tier of players that are in that contract, because it's a marketplace, right? It's figuring out your value with your peers, and so these big contracts. The McDavid one's interesting because he's kind of doesn't really affect anybody else because they don't have to do that. Like, he's able to do that because he knows what's coming after no matter what, because he's Connor McDavid. So I don't think it hurts anybody to do that. You got the other side of it, Kaprizov taking every penny that was available to him. You could argue, people would like to argue that that's selfish or it doesn't set the team up or whatever. You can also argue that, listen, this is a business, and you have a short period of time to collect as much money as you can, and you've earned that. But and then it goes down. So you have your tier 1 guys and then your tier 2 guys, and all of the guys in that group, whatever dollar amount you want to call it, your $7 to $9 million guys, $6 to $9 million. It does matter what other guys sign for, because that's your comparisons when it comes to contract negotiations. You're saying, well, they always talk about contract comparisons. Well, so and so got this deal, and that's a comparison. And so the more money the players get, I mean, I think players like when guys sign for bigger contracts for that exact reason, because when it comes down to it, if so-and-so signed for 6 years for $8 million a year, and I'm going into my contract negotiations and I got the exact same output as that guy, well, it's pretty straightforward what should be coming my way, or more if the salary cap is going up. So I don't think that Connor McDavid one really changes the upper dollar amount. I think it was just a sign from him that says, hey, I'm doing this to win, because I'm going to go ahead and guess he's getting every penny after this, which he more than deserves. But also people need to understand. Sorry, I'm rambling here a little bit, but the situation is like, some guys are in a situation that they can do that. Connor McDavid's made over $100 million so far, so he's able to shave off a little bit, and it's not going to kill him. Some guys, you only get one shot to get every single penny. You might get one opportunity to get a big contract. You're not one of those guys that got big contract after big contract. So you got to take every dollar you can. I'm just going to use the example of like Philip Grubauer with Colorado. They're like, oh, why do you go to Seattle? Why now he's not doing as well in Seattle. He should have stayed with Colorado. They're a winning team. Sure, you can argue that, but Philip Grubauer had been grinding his whole career on smaller, $2-3 million kind of deals. He was 30 something. This was his one shot, and you take the state tax into consideration and the extra $5 million total he got, and you're talking about $8-9 million difference. That's life changing for a lot of people, and the situations can change guy to guy. There's not too many guys in the league that can take a pay cut to be a good guy.
I would play on the shittiest team in the league if you were going to give me that many millions of dollars.
No
Put as many pucks past me as you like. I'm
You're
down
paying
for
me
it.
either way.
That's all I got.
Yeah, Devin, thank you for your time. Ask Doobie comes out. Oh, do you have one more?
Dude, I'm sorry I didn't text you back, dude. I'm so sorry, man. I left you on red.
Hey, I get it the first time. I didn't text you back, but the second time hit deep.
That's on me. That's accountability. I apologize. I'm looking you in the eyes. I love you. I miss you. And we'll figure it out. Maybe like next week we'll get you to hop on. We can take some Skinner victory laps. Let's go.
There you go. Thanks,
Love
Devin.
it.
We'll see you later.
All right,
Bye,
see you,
dudes.
boys.
See ya. There you go.
He's the
Devin Dubnyk.
best.
He is great.
He's the best.
It always and again, thank you for all your comments, but sometimes the pros just come here.
Refer to the experts, brother. He
and
played the position.
Yeah.
He was an all-star. He made millions.
Yeah,
And he's also
so
a stud.
I understand what the video looked like on the what is it? The first goal against the penalty killing goal, the power play goal for Ottawa, I guess. But if he's coming on and being like, no, actually, I wouldn't want my defenseman to do that, then it's, he wasn't just some goalie.
I
He
get
was a
that, and he's
multiple-time
the
all-star.
right-handed trying to come over
Yeah,
as well. There's
it
that.
makes
How
sense.
useful will you be in that sitch?
I agree.
And once again, if it's not Bush, it's somebody else. You'd be
Might
like,
be
okay, it might be different. But
I agree with you guys that It does look bad. It looks like, and I thought so too until the expert came in. Like, if I had an idea about space, and I went to a space expert and was like, this is my idea. And they were like, no, you're a dumbass. That's a bad idea. That's probably a bad idea.
I refer to the experts.
Yeah.
I refer to my YouTube expert over here to my right as well. Also, Brett's in here and he says Aaron is an awful texter.
It is
confirmed.
True. I've texted Aaron multiple times.
Bad.
And then he just goes, and he doesn't reply to me. He's like, I'll talk to you in the person.
Or
I want to know right
FaceTime me. If you FaceTime me, I'm answering every step of the way because there's no lying in FaceTime. This is, you know where I am and I know where you are.
Sean Horkoff said, I think we ripped Bush on a similar play in the playoffs. Maybe I honestly don't know which one you would be referring to. I think in the playoffs it's a little bit different. It's a bit more do or die, I think you honestly refer to in a way. Chell said, no JD on O&E this season. No, Jason Demers will be making appearances. If you've noticed, over the last little bit, Jason Demers has become like the hottest guest on hockey podcasts,
like physically and
both. And great guy, said he wants to be on our show.
We'll get him around.
We will have him on, just unfortunately not every single week like we had him on last year, but it's okay, he'll be back. And
we got some good guests this year.
Yeah, like I said, Rob Schremp will be joining us very shortly too, around 1 p.m. Reese, just let me know when he's here. I know we're a bit out yet, but we'll talk to him about some things, specifically younger players. Obviously, I'm curious of his thoughts of someone like Matt Savoie, who we've spoke about glowingly on this show quite a few times. Great game from him yesterday. Talked to him a little bit, Jack Roslovic, and how long it takes for a player to settle into a team, and then also someone like Jake Walman too, and we'll see what else we can get out of Rob. But the first thing we got to get to, Aaron, yesterday we didn't do our sports closet giveaway, and that's on me.
We dropped the ball.
If you watched the show yesterday, it got a little chaotic.
Yeah, cameras died, things happened.
It's hard to do sometimes. So we're going to do our sports closet gift card giveaway. Off the top of my head, I can't remember how much we give away. I think it's $25.
I think it's $25.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to read off some clues. We didn't make a graphic today, I don't believe. No. So I'll read off the clues. I'll reread them twice. Put your guess in the chat. Can you do the wheel? Can Reese get the wheel on the screen? What do we have working with here?
If he
got
knows
the wheel on the screen, Reese?
I can get out of my chair.
The Wheel of Names is what it's called. Yeah. I use it for everything in my life. I did it. My golf league starts tonight.
Ooh, you're back.
I'm back. And we do this thing in our chat now where we use the Wheel of Names to determine what our next move is. So I was asked if I was attending. I put in not attending. I span it. Unfortunately, I can't go.
I use the Wheel of Names for so much stuff in my daily life. Whenever I'm torn with a choice, what are you going to eat? Where are you going for dinner? What are you watching? Anything you're torn. You know, you're just scrolling through Netflix for like an hour and you don't actually get anywhere. Yeah. The wheel decides for you because the wheel is just.
The wheel
doesn't make mistakes.
Mackay and Dry is how Liam was named. I was actually named, the names on there were the band members of Oasis, because where I was born in Manchester.
You're a Liam Gallagher spawn, I guess.
So where I was born in England, Main Road is where Manchester City used to play. And if you know anything about Oasis, they're huge Manchester City fans. And on the day I was born in 1996, Oasis were playing across the street. My mom claims I wasn't named after Liam Gallagher. But hey, here we both are.
Clearly you are.
Here we both are. Okay.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, hey.
He gets a bad rap, but I actually don't know a lot about Liam Gallagher.
Might be the baddie.
There's some lore, I think, with Liam Gallagher. But giveaway.
Yes, giveaway. Let's get to our giveaway. Okay, first question. Listen up. And yes, Taylor put in the chat, is this from yesterday's team? Yes. This player played for Edmonton and Ottawa. And yes, Vasily Pod calls him, my real name is William. Anyways, clue 1, I guess. Here we go. Buckle in. Perk up your ears. I am a former first-round pick who played my junior hockey in the WHL.
Former first-round pick
that
played in the Dub.
The Western Hockey League.
Played for both the Oilers and Senators.
I played more games for Ottawa than I did for Edmonton. Very interesting. Mm-hmm. Very interesting clue. Okay, have we got anything coming in yet?
Nope, I don't got it.
Because the next one's a big one.
Nothing accurate yet. But granted, we got to give it some time.
I was a trade deadline acquisition for the Oilers, right around that time at least. I played for the Buffalo Sabres.
I want you to know also in the chat, I got this. I looked through it.
Okay, we've got 3 in there now. Can we sneak in a fourth? See if someone can get a fourth one. Again, First round pick, played in the Western Hockey League. Okay, that's the fourth one. We've got 4 because the last the last clue was I have appeared on Oilers Nation every day. And of course, that is our good friend, our Swedish sensation, our Swiss sensation, sorry, he lives in Switzerland. Tyler Ennis is the correct answer. Reese, here
Enzo sauce.
Enzo sauce. Okay, Reese, here's the people we're going to put in the wheel.
You know how to bring it on VMix? Is it K?
We've got Michael.
Let's give it up for Reese as well. He's doing a bang-up job behind the scenes.
Reese. Gary. That's okay.
Yeah.
Michael and Gary should be fairly easy to get out there, Reese. Fighting Amish gets one. And the last one going in is Dave. We'll call you Dave. Yeah. Dave Zed. Okay, Reese, let's get that on. Let's get that wheel spinning. Spin it, Reese. Let's see what we got. Gary is spelled wrong. That is
Spin
awesome.
that wheel.
Come on. Who we got?
Doot.
Oh, Gary.
Email.
Well done, Gary. Oh, look, Shooter McGavin's in the chat. Isn't that a coincidence?
Huh.
All right, Gary, you can email me at liam@oilersnation.com. I think that's my email.
Yeah.
If you don't remember
and
that
it still
one.
works. It still works.
Yeah. Tyler@oilersnation.com if you don't remember mine, which is, again, liam@oilersnation.com.
Shockingly enough, if you wanted to reach one of us.
Just say just one name.
At Oilers Nation. I shouldn't have said that.
Don't do it for Reese, though. I don't think Reese has an Oilers Nation email. Better collected
that's
one.
true, yeah.
Which we don't give away because it's a lot longer. It's a lot longer. It's a lot harder to get to. But there you go. Tyler Ennis is the...
There's another guy that we got to get back.
Yeah, we'll check
he won't once again be as frequent as last season.
Well, he's a new dad.
Yeah,
his wife had a baby, so congratulations to Enzo. Great guest. I love having him on. I think around the World Juniors is a great time to have him on. Obviously, a World Juniors star.
I feel like Enzo's like one of the most liked and beloved players by other NHL players. Everybody loves him.
I think so too.
It's a glue guy through and through.
A little bit of news coming out of the Oilers are back in Edmonton now after being away for so long. I'm assuming they flew home immediately after the game yesterday. And rightfully so. Earned a trip home, I think. Might have had to stay the night if they lost. Maybe that was a punishment. From our friend Tony Brav, Oilers TV. Limited skate for the Oilers this morning at Rogers Place. Here are the players on the ice. Forwards, Hyman, Frederick, Noah Philp, Ike Howard, Matt Savoie, David Tomasek, Curtis Lazar. Defenseman, Jake Walman, Troy Stetcher, Alec Regula. Goaltender out there is Calvin Pickard. So obviously, like Tony said, limited. But I will say this. Glad Trent Frederick's out there.
Yep.
Glad Trent Frederick's out there. He's not been playing well. This tells me he's pretty aware of it. The rest of them, I would say, fringe
They're
players.
young guys. They should be practicing.
Yeah,
they haven't earned the veteran day off type thing yet.
Totally. Zach Hyman as well, like Ryan said. Nice to see him skating as well. But yeah, Trent Frederick, Aaron, I agree with what you said before. You gotta see a bit more physicality. I went and looked through. He only had one hit last game.
For me, it's just, what type of player are you? What is your style going to be? And once again, it is a little tough because he starts the season in the top 6 next to Connor and Leon. I think that's what he was told all training camp. And then you come in, it obviously doesn't go your way. I do think he is way more built to be a bottom 6 guy that can chip in with good offense. I even argued yesterday on pre-gaming that for some reason, Trent Frederick looks more offensively skilled when he plays with less offensively skilled players. And that, I mean, I get it in the sense that when you play with a Connor, when you play with a Leon, you tend to defer, maybe not play your own game. You're always thinking about what you should be doing instead of just reacting to what is happening on the ice. I think Freddie should be a bottom 6 guy on this team, but there's no reason he can't be a Vasily Podkolzin. And all the things we say about Pods, there's no reason we can't say that about Freddie, because Pods is lunch pail, bring your hard hat. He brings effort day in, day out. Freddie, and while I still think he has effort, he's a big man. He's got that big body, and that's what travels. It's kind of frustrating. I hope it'll find it. Once again, we're in it for the long haul, so we're going to keep having this conversation.
Yeah, we're going to find out pretty quick here. Couple questions or comments, I guess, in the Odd Company YouTube chat. We haven't mentioned it yet.
Shout them out.
You can find a couple of Odd Company locations here in the city at the Ritchie location, and also downtown. You can go and get your Nation beer there. Also, too,
LiquorConnect.com.
yeah, LiquorConnect.com.
Or as I say, I've told every local liquor attendant within a 3-kilometer radius of my house, hey man, can you just order that? Can you just order that on your iPad thing you got right there? Very easy to do. And they do it all the time now. So a lot of liquor stores in Sherwood Park now have Nation beer. You're welcome.
Yeah. A few comments in here just regarding what we just mentioned. The guys out there on the skate today. Ryan S. again said, Hyman skating. Great to see. Naeem said, why wasn't Nurse out there?
That's a good point.
I think it's purely based off him being a veteran guy. But if we're talking about players not playing very well, Dana Nurse is certainly one of them. Who was it? Jonathan Willis yesterday. Excuse me, I retweeted it. He said, Oilers defensemen who have appeared in all 7 games expected 5-on-5 goal share. So this is, again, the percentage of times they would have been on the ice for a goal, expected goal or against, I believe is how that number is measured. Either way, the numbers are bad for our old friend Daryl. So number 1, I'll go 1 through 5. There's only been 5 defenses played every game. This is expected goal share at 5-on-5. Ekholm 62%, Bouchard 58%, Emberson 49%, Kulak 44%, Nurse 29%. Actual goal share. Sorry, I misspoke. This is actual goals. Kulak 70%, Emberson 67%, Bouchard 33%, much lower than you would have heard, 58%. Expected 29% for Ekholm.
Ekholm drops from 62 to 29.
Nurse remains last in both categories. He has an actual goal share of 0%. Jonathan goes on to say, Ekholm and Bouchard have nice fancies but lousy real-world numbers. They're playing with the big guns, so that's not ideal. Kulak and Emerson are fine by the fancies and probably getting the bounces a bit more in the real world again. Nurse worked with Regula for 2 games and has been a wreck since. Bouchard always seems to have stretches like this where the pucks just aren't going in for him and making glaring errors, so hopefully that self-corrects. Nurse is the obvious problem, and Walman should, he puts in kind of quotations, help with that, and over time, that'll go a long way toward fixing the 5-on-5 issues for the team in general. So, Naeem, I think you're right. Why isn't Nurse out there? Maybe a bit of self-awareness from Nurse, but also, too, like, maybe he does just need to be off the ice for a couple of minutes and reset himself. Sometimes, like Doobie said, he's like, when you go on these long road trips, it can be quite difficult.
That it snowballs, that everything starts to build. You have one error, you're in your head. Daryl, it's nice early in the season. Take the day off. Bang. You're going to be 1 game at home.
Yeah.
Can't really get much worse, but I should...
Let's talk about everyone's not going to piece of
I should stop doing that. I got to stop doing stuff like that. It's been hard to watch so far this season for Daryl. I do think we know that in training camp preseason here, Jake Walman said, if you're going to play me with Daryl and on the right side, I want to stick in that pairing on that side from the front end of the season all the way to the back. So I think the Edmonton Oilers are committed to running Daryl and Jake Walman as their second pair. There's going to be growing pains. It's tough to put that much pressure on a guy returning from injury in Jake Walman to fix the problems, to become the nurse whisperer. To be fair, he seemed pretty up to the task yesterday against the Ottawa Senators, so he's the hero we deserve, or the hero we need, but not the one we deserve, possibly. Hopefully those two can build some chemistry, build on their game, and maybe Walman's the nurse whisperer.
Taylor puts in the chat.
Or Nurse just finds his game.
Nurse
he's
just
had
plays better.
Plenty of good stretches in the regular season the last 2 years. Just tends to snowball from time to time, and it's happening at the very beginning of the year.
Just play better.
Yeah. Don't be bitter. Be better.
Be better. Taylor puts in the chat, which is quickly followed by a comment from Brian. Should Jack Roslovic be out on the ice? I mean, obviously, Roslovic did not play any preseason games this entire training camp. You think maybe a bit of conditioning wouldn't be such a bad thing, but he has played every single game. I think he's been okay. I don't think he's been anything to write home about by any means, but I don't think he's been like a bad player for them. Drew a couple of penalties in the Devils game and Detroit game combined. Offensively, obviously, you want to see him getting a bit more of his game going. Again, I want to ask Rob Schremp about that. Just how long do you think is a realistic... it's sometimes hard to put... And Tyler does this a lot, and I'll admit it, and I'll admit it to him. I don't like it when we put like timelines on players of like, he deserves 20 games with this guy, or this guy deserves 5 games, and I'll judge him. So let's just let him
Let it cook.
ease into it. And then maybe by the time December comes around, he's getting a point every other night and he's more effective. And that's what I want to see from someone like Jack Roslovic.
I will say for me on Roslovic, it's only 5 games, so there's plenty for us to still hear for the Edmonton Oilers. But he has been playing in the top 6. He has been playing with some skilled players. Would possibly like to see maybe some more willingness to shoot. I believe he has 8 shots in 5 games. That is something that has been obviously lacking for the Edmonton Oilers thus far this season. But, hey. There he
Rob
is.
Schremp's here. Okay.
Going on, boys?
Okay, welcome in. Rob, how you doing? What an abrupt introduction to the show. I think our producer Reese is still trying to get on the sticks here. Was just trying to get Aaron on the screen, but Rob, how you doing?
Rob, how you doing?
Living the dream, boys. What's shaking?
Amen.
Good. Well, obviously, the Edmonton Oilers came off a much-needed win, I think it was fair to say, last night against the Ottawa Senators. They almost blew it, but managed to get it back on the rails with obviously a nice goal from Jake Walman in overtime. What did you make of that game last night? And I guess the road trip in general, I think they're pretty happy has come to an end. They're back in Edmonton.
Yeah, I think coming home to some home cooking will be good with a win and enjoying their own beds for a minute. So it's good. It was good to see McDavid get a goal. Just a nice shot, nice setup a nice setup there from behind the net from Nuge. So there was some good stuff there, and Walman getting his, in his debut, getting the game winner. I think he's walking on cloud 9 with that new contract, and now he's got a game-winning goal to start the season off. So yeah, I love the wiggle. I love the little extra celebration there. That was great.
Jake Walman is dripping with swag in everything he does. I wanted him to gritty because that's what he used to do. This was arguably even better. Schremper, let me ask you here we were just kind of mentioning about Jake Walman that it's tough. You're playing in the top 4. He's playing, I guess, actually on his natural offside on the right side with one Darnell Nurse. Walman's been vocal and committed that, hey, I'm going to play on this side with Darnell from front to back this season. And if you've been watching, it has not been a great year so far for one Darnell Nurse. Is that tough to put that amount of pressure on a guy like Jake Walman to kind of instantly come into lineup? What the Oilers have struggled on this road, he was to pass the puck, to make simple breakouts. That's Walman's game. I felt yesterday we were maybe putting a little bit too much pressure on Walman to fix these issues. And then yesterday he kind of came in and fixed a fair amount of those issues. I'm just curious, coming off an injury, how tough is that to be thrown right back into that spot where your partner, I know you didn't play defense, but your line mate is struggling to start the year?
Yeah, I think it takes pressure off Nurse and it gives the roles and responsibilities over to Walman of what he's good at, and taking the load as far as for that pairing. He's gonna be the workhorse, and he's gonna be the guy that starts the plays and kind of carries that part of it. And I think putting that on Nurse, I don't know if that's his game or not, but Walman's very good at it. He's very agile. He's good at escaping forechecks and making those good first passes. So it's one of those things where he gets interjected. That's what he does. I don't think it's asking him to do something that he doesn't have the ability to do or something that he doesn't do. That's who he is. And that's why they just gave him that money and that contract, because that's what they kind of expect out of him. So I don't think it's too much to ask of him. And I think they'll start balancing each other out. I think it might be a nice little refresher for Nursey to get, have him back there and he can take the attention for a minute, and Nursey can kind of go into the, sort of calm down and take a minute and just be a supporting cast for, don't want to put it the wrong way, but for, he's the better defenseman. Walman's the better player right now. Let him go and you support him. So it's not so much like Walman's carrying, all the weight. It's actually, I think it'll be a nice combination.
I want to tell you about Matthew Savoie. I think last time we had you on, we talked about him a little bit then too, but I think since then he's played really, really well. And unfortunately for him, he hasn't been able to get the points production, which I think people are kind of overly criticizing.
They're box score hunters, is what I
think
call
it's very fair. But when you watch the game, especially last night, he's a rookie going to the net, like crashing the net hard. He wins the face-off in overtime that leads to the game-winning goal. He's playing on a penalty kill. The other day against Detroit, he's bumped up to the top unit power play. Like, this kid's playing really, really well, just not able to get the points just yet. But everything else seems to be going pretty well for him.
Yeah, there's layers to the game, and what matters the most is what sort of boxes he checks for the coach, and like you mentioned a bunch of them, he's winning draws, he's PKing, and then when you do those little things, you get a cookie and you get a reward to be bumped up to the power play and that sort of thing. So it's more about that. What's in the coach's room being talked about? What sort of boxes is he checking off for them? And the little layers that he adds and the support that he adds, that's what's important. Obviously, with how offensively powered the Edmonton Oilers are, it's not, he doesn't need to be on the score sheet every night. Would it be nice? For sure. But as long as he's taking care of those little gritty details and doing the things that the little responsibilities, taking care of those, then that's what the team's going to be looking for.
Another guy who's trying to find his role on this team, who was newly acquired, Jack Roslovic, signs the 1 year, $1.5 million ticket. He's only played 5 games for the Oilers. I said he was advertised to me as speedy as shit, and he still looks speedy as shit, so there's that. But I'm curious to ask you, when you join a new team, and let alone the Edmonton Oilers, playing in the top 6 with guys like Anuj, I know he hasn't specifically been with Connor and Leon, but how long does that take to get adjusted to a new squad? We keep talking about, you need to give him, is it 5 games, 10 games, 15 games? What is the amount of runway where you can kind of properly judge, okay, this is what this guy is, this might be the spot we'll put him in? I'm curious, what have you thought of Roslovic, and what's kind of that window in your opinion?
I think he's been okay. He's just trying to find his stride. It takes 10 games, to get settled in. Whether you're going into a new league or you're coming into a new team, it takes about 10 games is the standard number. I was taught that by my mentor Don Kernan when I was like 12, 13 years old. Because I was kind of climbing levels, and he said that like it's easy now, but it's going to come to a point where you're going to meet some difficulties. It's going to take you 10 games to figure it out, and that stayed true through the rest of my career. So I believe in that. And it's like you can come in and in the first 3 or 4 games have success. That's great. That's the best case scenario. But it takes 10 games to like figure everybody out, find your teammates' habits, find the opponents. Like in a new league, then it's finding opponents and the routes and the sort of mistakes that happen in that new league. Again, the new team is that you're finding out tendencies from your line mates, figuring out what they like, what they don't like, what kind of little reads you can make off of them. So it does take time, and sometimes it clicks right off the bat. That's the best case scenario. It's not that easy though. Even when you get put on, like, let's say you just get chucked on to I know Connor McDavid is the best player in the world. That doesn't mean he's the easiest player to play with in the world. I hope that doesn't come off wrong. Like for someone like to come on his line, you got to be able to read off him, not get in his way, make sure your routes are timed properly when he's hitting those holes. Like that's not easy. Sidney Crosby's no different. There's certain guys that can mesh with those tie-in guys, and that takes a certain skill, and that does take some time as well. So it's a little bit, I think that external pressure is like, hey, you're getting those minutes with these sick players. Why are you not doing great things? And I just, I can speak from my experience, at least, that it's not always that easy. So I think a little bit of patience would be good. He seems to be well liked wherever he goes. I think guys love him in the locker room, and he's a good guy. He's a good teammate, and when he's going, he is very effective. So, and at 1.5, I think you got room for patience with that kind of guy.
Totally. Like some players who are playing in the bottom 6 again, getting paid just as much as him. And we all know Roslovic's probably going to get his feet rolling here. I was looking. He is actually 3rd on the team in 5-on-5 minutes for forwards, only behind Draisaitl and McDavid. So I think that shows what the coaching staff
is getting a proper runway.
Also thinks of him too. We had Devon asking our chat. He was curious about McDavid and Draisaitl. It's always such a hot topic in Edmonton. Should they play together? Should they not play together? It's fair to say neither of them have had a fantastic start to the season based on their own standards. Do you think those two need to play together more often, I guess, right now to get things rolling? Or do you think the others are better off separating them?
It can be game to game, to be honest with you. It's such a unique duo that they have because they're very close and they play off each other so well. But there's certain times, like, everybody's doing their research and everybody does film and everybody's got a game plan when they play against them. Sometimes you need to break it up. And even as great as they are, we're still talking about the National Hockey League. Like, these are good players on the other side too. So sometimes it's not on them. It's just the other team does good things and plays strong defense and gives them no room and no plays. So that being said, if you put them on the same line for a night like that, then you're stifling a lot of offense. If you split them up, they're both, then it's very hard to defend. And then the other team has to have two really good checking lines, which isn't easy to do. So it's all about gamesmanship and strategy and kind of seeing where it's at. I don't know, external pressure of like, who actually cares what our opinion is, but it's more about like, what the game plan is going to be. How are they clicking? Maybe there's last game they just couldn't find each other. You give them a breather from each other, which is, it's happened in the past, obviously. And then it seems like when they get back together after 3 or 4 games, the next thing they just light it up and have a big point night. So that them with having a slow start, so to speak, it really, not that it matters what I think, but I wouldn't be too worried because, again, once they get sparked, they just go like crazy. It's like nuts. They get like 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, and it just piles up. So they'll be fine.
The floodgates open that way. Also, I get it. We're Oilers Nation, so we need things to talk about. So you're always going to bring it up. But the beginning of the preseason, Nobby's talking. He's like, Connor and Leon are going to play together. Then the media goes and asks Leon, and he was like, man, come on, guys, you know how this is going to roll. We're going to be together. If we're down 2 goals, we're going to play together. This is nothing new. Liam, I don't have anything else insightful, but I got maybe a dumb one.
Please ask.
Who do we think is the MVP of the Edmonton Oilers so far?
Okay.
Is it Skinner or is it Nuge? I'm giving 2 options, unless you have another one. That's a dumb question.
It's tough. I don't know. I like the way Skinner's played. He's battling, and I think, Nuge has just been that consistent dude for so long, right? Skinner's got a lot of pressure. He's under a lot of scrutiny. So I like the way he's performing right now and handling the start of the season. So I would pick him just because of that. Nuge is just doing what he's always done, which has been great. So I think Skinner. Well, I don't think I got to answer the dumb question. No.
And I just wanted to get it so I could hear it, that if I told you 7 games in, Stuart Skinner was the MVP, I would have been smacked across the face if I said that in this chat.
Nuge is 7 points in 7 games. He's at a really strong.
Stu's got a 909, 910.
Yeah.
Take a picture.
Last question. What have been your just general thoughts on the team? What's something you need to see more of them? I say they return home, then they go back on the road again, but it's only to Seattle and Vancouver, so it's not too bad. So being back home is obviously a big thing that we spoke about off the top, but what is something you need to see improve from the Edmonton Oilers?
Puck management needs to be way better, and the strategy of the game and investing in the game. There's a fine line between having rope to be creative and being careless. It's the NHL. So it's important that they manage the puck better and, invest in the game plan and driving teams down and putting the pucks in good areas and then having sustained offensive zone pressure. And I think that's one thing. And I think, not everything has to come off the rush. Again, placing the puck and gaining territory is what's important. You just got to make better decisions with the puck. That would be it. Not everything has to come through an offensive, through a neutral zone carry or neutral zone miracle play. So that's just puck management and tighten down the hatch and bring up the intensity. Just, it's early in the season, but going back home, it's important you get on that good path and set a good precedent there. And early in the season, you make it so people don't want to come play in that barn.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot more straight passes from the Oilers to start the season. But back home tomorrow, so hopefully that helps. Rob, we appreciate your time. We'll chat to you next time. See ya.
Sounds good, boys.
There you go. Rob Schremp, former Edmonton Oiler.
Loaded lineup of former Edmonton Oilers today.
Great lineup.
Wait, and we covered... What, the Springfield Falcons?
Yeah, the Springfield Falcons, Rob Schremp.
I blanked on all the former minor teams for the Edmonton Oilers right there.
I don't know if the Oilers owned that team, or maybe it was the first American League team that they did own. But either way, they both played there at the same time, if I'm not.
I was a Bet365 Falcon, Liam.
Yes, you were.
We were rival high schools, me and Liam both in Sherwood Park.
Sabres and Falcons.
The Preps versus the Greasers. Socials versus Greasers.
Was I the... Yeah, you were the Prep school. Doug Waite, Shooter McGavin is in the chat. How's everyone doing today? Doug, we all know it's you.
Doug, I know that you are Shooter McGavin. Me and Liam did some work here.
I've never seen Shooter and Doug in the same room together.
Shockingly, when Doug got maybe invisible at some point. No one could see his things. Now Shooter's back in all of a sudden.
What a coinkydinky. Brian asked, when Regula returns to the lineup, who do you think is the odd man out? I think it was made pretty clear last night that Stetcher, if we're talking about the odd man out in the sense of like who goes down.
Like the roster, Stetcher.
Who's the eighth defenseman, let's call him either way. And I think Emberson.
I was going to say, if he comes out of the lineup, it was only 2 games for Regula, but he did look good.
He looked solid. And does that lead to you wanting to play him with Darnell Nurse and putting Nurse's minutes down a little bit, and you have Kulak and Walman? I don't know.
Yes.
I'm just saying. Like I think
yes,
actually changing up
that's
the
what I would
pairings-
do, but I'm biased as shit towards Brett Kulak, even after yesterday.
Do you know what? I think I might even go a little bit crazier, and I'm curious what people would think about this. I might go Ekholm and Walman and put Bouchard with Kulak. I really might. And then I would.
And
have
we've
Nurse
seen Kulak and Bouchard play
Making
very
your
well together in the NHL playoffs.
Make your second pairing. Let Bouchard just smooth things out a little bit. I think he's been better the last 3. Honestly, post-Islanders game has not been as bad. Definitely not. I mean, and we all know. We've all been Oilers fans for a while.
He's going to build it back up.
those.
We're going to have it. It's going to go back, and then there will be another one, and then, come on. It's a never-ending cycle. We got 4 more years of this. Let's ride.
He has those games. So someone else pointed out too, Based Ivy. Sorry if this was a question for Rob, but I'm going to answer it for you. Who has a better chance to get on the Olympic team, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins or Stuart Skinner? Here's how I will answer this question. There's a lot more forwards to pick from than goaltenders. If Skinner keeps playing as well as he's playing, I think he's got more of a chance than Nuge. I know Nuge is point-per-game player, but I mean,
There's a lot of very skilled Canadian forwards out there, and
there's a lot of players who are on the Four Nations team who probably won't make it.
And I would argue that if you looked at the 3 phases, forwards, defense, goalies of Team Canada, goalies is probably number 3 on that list. So, therefore, once again, do I think either of them are going to make it? If you put truth serum in me, probably not. That's not going to happen. But Stuart Skinner plays like this. He's in the conversation. Nuge keeps putting up points. He's in the conversation because he's a jack of all trades. Short tournament. You need chemistry that's already built. Connor, Nuge, they've played together a ton. Same applies to Hyman. But I wouldn't hold your breath.
No, if Brian puts in there, if Skinner balls, he's got a shot. Do we have the Skinner quality start meter, Reese? Okay, it's in the Canva if you don't mind grabbing it. We've got a little bit of time, but I think we can all assume we know where the quality start meter went for Stuart Skinner last night. I think we'll give him a thumbs up. We'll let you guys vote as well in the chat. I'll put that in right now. Actually,
I thought Stu was just solid. Stuart, solid. Skinner so far to start this season. I love our alliteration, and it's again, the argument has always been consistency. Can he keep this going for an extended period of time? We've seen him play this well before. We knew that this was capable, but he just looks different. He looks smooth. I like that Duby pointed out the slow is fast, smooth is steady, whatever the hell he said there. That does feel like that is an accurate description of one Stuart Skinner. He's been moving well. Whatever you're doing, keep on doing it. Shout out Peter Aubrey. Is that his name?
Sure.
Is that the goalie coach?
Oh, the goalie coach, yeah. People ask, like, the interesting part about the Canadian goaltending. So Logan Thompson, 927 start of the year. And I know I don't like save percentage, but whatever. That's still really good number. Tristan Jarry, another Canadian goalie, 922. Maybe I missed a Canadian goalie. Skinner, 909. Where's Binnington?
I don't want Tristan Jarry anywhere near the
No,
Canadian
and I don't
net.
think it was. Oh, there's Binnington. 894 to start the season, 5 games. He has a 2-2-1 record. Again, I've not really watched Binnington play that much. Who are the other ones? Montembeau is an 857. Aiden Hill is injured. It actually is like a real conversation. I know the Olympics is a few months away, so we'll see what kind of happens here. Obviously, if Skinner wants a chance to make the Olympic team, he needs to continue to play well.
The fact we're even having this conversation right
It's
now
a great
is
positive.
awesome.
It's a great thing, and I'm sure many other people would agree. Do we have the start? Let's take a look. I did it myself this morning because I knew what all of you were going to say, but I think we'll give Stuart Skinner a thumbs up. So I know last game we voted for, this is my quality start meter. We'll do one for you guys. We'll do one for me.
I think they agree with us. 80% good.
Don't worry. I have one for you guys too.
I got to tell you though, you know how like we in Edmonton, there's a lot of Stu Skinner haters out there.
Many.
They're very vocal. Several of them are some of my very best friends. They have been silent so far this season. Not a peep. Shockingly, you haven't seen the Super Gremlin in the pre- and post-game chat. He's the biggest of them all. Once again, we got to enjoy it. got to continue to let it ride. But
Yeah.
I'm having fun being a Stuart Skinner truther, as I have said for years now.
Jake Walman in the chat says, was it Walman? Yeah, sorry. It's going to be Hill, Montembeault, Binnington, and Thompson. They only take 3 goalies. Jake.
Binnington, Thompson, Hill would be my probably.
I was told that Logan Thompson has no chance to make this team.
Oh, that's right.
That's
right. Yep.
So
okay, yeah. Sources? Question mark.
Pretty reliable source. He,
we don't need to.
It doesn't seem to think he's going to make it, but that was a while ago. We'll see. Maybe things have changed, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think Skinner's probably more in the conversation now than he has ever been.
Oh yeah.
But either way, thanks for grabbing that one, Reese. Let's get into what's trending for Oodle Noodle, Aaron.
Oodle Noodle. Google Oodle Noodle. That's what I said yesterday on the show and totally messed up my wording. Shout out to them. One of my favorite meals in all of Edmonton, actually all of Alberta, I guess, because they got locations all over the place. Download their app from the Google Play Store or the App Store. Sign up, create an account so you can start redeeming rewards points. Save some money on some green onion cakes or some spring rolls. Oh, I'm getting just talking about it. My stomach just grumbled. I'm stoked the mic didn't pick that up, but go get some Oodle Noodle. It's fantastic. And I think we have to get Nick some. Our boss is in town from Toronto. So we had a donaire yesterday from Swiss.
So good.
He said it was insane, but he said he needs more experience learning how to eat it because it was spilling all over the place. Then I went, have you ever had a green onion cake? He looked at me dumbfounded.
Fresh one.
We need to fix that today.
Yeah, we will fix that today.
Oh,
Shout
my
out.
laptop's going to die too. So
it's okay. We've only got a little bit to go here. We already talked about the nation vacation again. We're going to Vancouver this weekend, and you'll see us at Greta on Sunday. Maybe you'll see us somewhere else on Saturday. I'm not allowed to say.
DM us. If you're in Vancouver, just DM.
Or just have a think about it.
Just have a think about it. Go back in the show. We kind of mentioned it earlier.
Have a think about it. If you're a fan of the Oilers in Vancouver, you probably know.
There you go.
Just have a think about it. I probably already said too much.
I don't know what you're talking about. Come on down.
Second was trending. I felt pretty bad for this guy last time. So Brad Marchand obviously made his return to Boston. Brad Marchand, pretty emotional guy for the rat he is.
I did not have him bawling his eyes out on the bench on my bingo card.
I would have had that, and I think I would have been like minus 1,000.
Dude, he was like trying to like get it back together and then would fall back apart again. Like that was real. That was human. Shout out to the Bruins fans.
But
then
the Bruins tied the game with like 40 seconds left or something like that. And then, Reese, if we want to throw up the clip, poor Andrew Peeke. I don't know how this happened, but somehow that puck bounces off the backboards. He goes to clear it. He misses the puck completely. And it hits his skate and just flies into the back of the net.
You could replay that 1,000 times. I don't know if that's going to happen again. The level of unluckiness, if that's even a phrase, it's through the roof on this.
So harsh.
My heart goes out to this guy because that can't go worse than the way that went.
No.
With the time in the game, if they had just tied it up and then, boy.
This is probably the best angle. If you're watching right now, you can see what happens. So it goes off the post, I guess, not the backboard, sorry. And as he goes to clear it, he just misses it, skates right into it, and somehow ends up in the back of his own net. The other part, which was wild about this, so as you can see there, it's 25.7 seconds left. So I think they end up figuring out it's like 26.5 seconds left. But the scoreboard breaks in the arena, and the clock will not start. So the ref, they honestly, after this go for like a few minutes, I'm trying to figure it out, and the guy in the box is like, it just won't work. Like, it just broke. So they had to go up to both coaches and be like, hey, like, we have to literally, like, stopwatch this. So they had to stopwatch the last, like, 25, 26 seconds, whatever it was. Nothing of note happened, and the puck ended up just ending in the neutral zone. Anyway, Chalas did Reinhardt high stick it. He didn't actually touch it. But, yeah, it was a crazy ending this, and then the clock just not working. But when the clock was working, it was stuck on 2 minutes and 65 seconds, which is obviously just, like, not a time. So,
Man, a lot happened in that hockey
I
game
know,
yesterday.
but it only happened in the last minute. So credit to the Bruins for getting a goal back, and then credit to Andrew Peak for, I would assume that's his first goal of the season, which he would not have. I did feel very bad for him. The other thing that happened yesterday was my parents celebrated their 30th wedding anniversary. So shout out to my mom and dad, 30 years. What a time to be alive.
That's inspiring. That I like.
Very inspiring.
That makes me believe in true love.
That is true love. And my mom had an Evander Kane jersey. And she's like, well, he's gone now and I need a new jersey. So my dad, Reese, if we have the clip, bought my mom a new jersey last night. And you can see there is a Jake Walman jersey. So my mom is 1-0 in her new Jake Walman jersey. So let's give some claps to the mom in the chat. Some dubs in the chat for mom.
She's going to get 7 years of that jersey.
She is
or
good.
8,
That's why
8 years of that jersey?
Yeah, 8 years. So she was pretty pumped about it. She was stoked. She's just started to become a hockey fan the last couple of years through, honestly, not really any choice of her own. It's either you learn or you just have to watch nothing.
You have no shared interest with your son.
Yeah. So she's...
My mom's still fighting that good fight. She still won't accept it yet.
She's good. She even called me on the day of when McDavid signed and was like, does this mean he's leaving after 2 years? And I'm like, no, Mom, we're probably okay. We'll see what happens.
We'll deal with that then.
Yeah,
we'll deal with that then.
She's come a long way. So shout out, Mom.
Jake Walman in the chat said, shout out, Mama Liam.
There you go. Shout out, Mama Liam.
Frame that.
Mama
Take a
Harbin.
screenshot.
So,
we need that.
Shout out, Mom and Dad. Congratulations on 30 years. Love you guys. Thanks for...
I love you too. I'll say it too. I don't know you guys very well.
Thanks for bringing me to Canada, I guess, and giving me a job. That's pretty epic.
Well,
So, that's great.
your son makes my life easier. So there you go. 5 minutes left in the show. Let's quickly go through and look at our Bet365 Daily Bets. Again, it is never ordinary at Bet365. You can download the app today. Use the code NATION when you download the app. So there you go. Over at Bet365. I won the betting challenge yesterday. Shout out you, Liam. Does that mean you officially have the lead?
I'm officially in the lead. So I gotta send these to. I'll send these to you guys properly. But I did make a better score sheet.
I looked in it, and I was like,
good.
man, you even have photos in there.
I
He's
know.
tracking with colors, fields.
It's great. So we'll get it on the screen for tomorrow's game day. Tyler will be back tomorrow as well. So
I'll be back in the big chair. Then,
So I am up 1.6 units. Tyler is down 1 unit. Jay, believe it or not, 0-4 on the season, down 4 units. So, so the records: I'm 2-2. Tyler's 1-3. Jay is 1-4. 0-4, which means he is on pace for the South 10. Tyler did come very close yesterday, ish. He had the puck line. Leon and McDavid both to get 2+ points. I don't think either of them finished with 2. McDavid probably should have, but didn't end up getting the assist on that one, at least last time I checked. But obviously the others didn't win on the puck line anyway.
Now you go, Liam. Now you start putting some wins together. Start stringing them together.
I got to get moving here. I just can't allow this to happen.
Now, because you are so anti-spray tan, I'll be real. You are the one I want to see get spray tan the most. Shocker how that works. But hey, it's up to the Bet365 gods. It's up to the gambling gods. Also, Toronto Raptors season opener tonight. Somebody wagering on the Raps. They're plus 185 on the money line.
Who do they play?
The Atlanta Hawks.
Are they good? Bad? How are we doing?
Good. Better than the Raptors, I would expect, but not. The Eastern Conference. I was talking to Nick Caroli, who lives in Toronto. I believe his wife works for the Raptors in some capacity. He's down with me. Raptors to make the NBA playoffs. I'm placing that future. I already did place that future. The East stinks. Everybody tore their Achilles.
Does it?
Tyrese Halliburton, Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard tore his Achilles last year, all at the end of the season. So these guys aren't playing. Joel Embiid can't stay healthy. Go Raps. Let's go. Brandon Ingram, it's your time. That's enough basketball talk.
Let's hope so. I haven't watched basketball for a while. I just can't get into it. I don't know. Past the era. I feel like there's not as many stars now.
No, it's not. It's nowhere near as good as it used to be. Like when we were in high school or straight
the best. My favorite basketball time was when the Clippers were balling. Chris Paul, DJ, Blake Griffin,
JJ Redick, ripping threes.
The Atlanta Hawks were always this team of. You knew they were never going to win the NBA Finals, but they
had 5 All-Stars.
They had 5 All-Stars one year.
Their whole starting 5.
The Raptors signed one. I'll never forget when Damian Lillard got that buzzer beater, and it wasn't a Game 7 Something
it was a
like
winning the
Yeah,
series.
I think it was against the Rockets, James Harden's Rockets. Like, it was so much fun. And obviously, how could I even forget the Golden State Warriors?
LeBron
was
and Golden State
fantastic.
going at it.
I
agree.
do you know what?
Except for 2019, go Raps, Kawhi. I still love
that
you.
was awesome. That was probably the end of it, to be honest. Too much parody. Yeah. I'll be honest. I really just want some superstar teams, and I want to see.
The NBA is just a soap opera. Like,
I love seeing dynasties. I love it. I really do. Not in the NHL. I'd rather the Florida Panthers just finish last every single season.
Unless I'm the dynasty.
Yeah, unless we're the dynasty. But my favorite bet tonight is only 3 games in the NHL. Not that good of ones either. But the Calgary Flames stink. Mm-hmm. And tonight they play the Montreal Canadiens. Who don't stink. But it's good to see the Montreal Canadiens are playing, because then they play the Oilers tomorrow, so we got them second at back-to-back. It's pretty promising. Montreal is minus 125 on the money line, and the Calgary Flames have only won 1 game this season, if I'm not mistaken. Unfortunately, that 1 game was against the Edmonton Oilers, which sucks.
You don't say.
But
minus 120 now.
Minus 120 again. It's going up. So I would say 1-6 Calgary Flames to lose to the 5-2 Montreal Canadiens. The other side of it too, Tyler put this out. DFO Tyler put this out. I'll say, not Oilers Nation Tyler. Should the Flames bottom out to get Gavin McKenna? I say no. I say keep going, Calgary. Try and win some games.
Yeah.
Push for the playoffs and fail just right at the end.
Mid.
Live
That's
in
exactly
that
what you're
battle of
shooting
mid.
for. Right?
Come on.
Like, maybe.
13th
Will
overall every year. Surely that'll get you a good player eventually. Eventually you'll get someone great. Just keep aiming for it.
Keep going.
Come on. You don't need McKenna. You don't need Verhoff. You don't need that Swedish kid who's really good. That 13th overall pick, 14th, 12th, wherever it is, somewhere right.
You got a good high character guy there. You got a good guy in the room.
The underdog.
Yeah.
Come on. It's okay being the second best team in Alberta. Again, you will always be. So don't aim for the best.
Yes.
Aim for mid. It'll be fine.
See, this is already too much time we've even spent on the Calgary Flames.
I know. But I think everyone in the chat would agree. Let me know if you agree.
Bang.
Okay, there we go. I think we've had a great 3 shows here, Aaron. Shout out Reese.
Let's go.
Shout out Reese on the back end there. Really threw Rob Schremp right in our faces.
That was great.
I know he's
Keep it on
very
your toes.
embarrassed
Gotta
by
keep it on
it,
your
but
toes.
that's okay. It happens. No cameras went down today, which wasn't Reese's fault yesterday.
Yeah, it's
either.
true. None of that was on Reese.
But Tyler's back tomorrow. Jay's back tomorrow. The others back tomorrow. But going to Vancouver this weekend, it's going to be awesome. Until then, oil up.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Everyday, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered, from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.